Okay.
So I found a bunch of my old radio air check tapes.
Yeah.
And I've been listening to them. I forgot, man. I used to do some.
Wait a sec. Do you have them with you?
No. They're cassettes, you know.
Oh, we should have gotten them.
I used to come back from a commercial break. Welcome back to Rock of Ages on Rock 101 WROQ. Christian rock and roll without the painful itching and swelling.
Wow.
Did you connect?
No.
I think I got that though. We got that, so we can use that as a sound drop later.
That's funny.
Okay, yes, pair. Tang PD.
There we go.
You showed up late. You're the co-host, and you showed up late. I drove 4 hours away to get here on time, PD. Done. Okay, awesome. Okay,
Weren't you
okay.
late last
guys.
week? Don't.
Huh? Was I? We're taking turns. Welcome to Church Stories Podcast. My name is Shamow, and ran out of gas on the interstate today in the Prius. And my wife was driving, and I was like, hop out, let's change. And I drove, and I somehow managed to baby the Prius to a rest area where we found some great highway employees. And I was like, can I bump some gas off you guys? I've got cash. And made it in town in time. Yeah.
Wow.
Good
The
to
Lord is
know.
with me.
Good to know. My dad, his grandfather, told me recently that when a car says it hits zero, it'll actually go about another 14 miles.
Okay. My Prius does about sometimes anywhere from 30 to 50. This time, closer to 30.
So you've tested it before.
I've tested it before, and this time, my wife's like, why do you do this? And I'm like, because I always luck out. Every time, God is always with me. That's my introduction. Yeah. Tell us who you are.
My name is PD,
And? Oh, wow.
and I brought coffee this time.
What 7-Eleven did you get this from?
The one near my house.
Oh, man. Good. Guys, welcome to the show, the podcast that exists because you laugh the hardest.
When you're not supposed to.
We forgot our intro. This is
an after-school program podcast.
Yeah.
What key are we in, G?
And today, on the show,
The man who co-wrote the intro, co-created
the co-creator of the intro. You hear his voice all the time saying, what key are we in? Which is now an iconic phrase, Mr. Scott. I should say, yeah. We ask the followers now. People want merch. But can you believe that? People want what key are we in merch?
Wow.
The fluke.
Who knew?
But on the show today is our first executive producer
Yeah.
of Church Stories Podcast. You were also on the second episode, right? The one about
Revivals,
one about
yeah.
revivals. He also coined that little beep, beep on the I can never remember what is
The
the name?
melodica.
The melodica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somehow Jonathan remembered that. Somebody said harmonica, and he corrected them and said melodica.
Well, Jonathan Wright also knows a bunch of instruments. Do we
Yeah.
want to give Mr. Scotty B? I ruined. I already said his name. Do we want to give him the full treatment?
Sure.
The new season 3 treatment? I don't know. Have you been listening to the show?
Not lately.
He dropped out.
Okay, well, hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, the guest on today's show is none other than
Worship leader, young boy band wonder,
and
Scott Bachmann.
piano player extraordinaire, co-writer of the Church Stories Podcast theme song, and none other than PD's father,
This is,
Mr.
what, your fourth appearance on the show?
Yeah,
I
your
think
fourth
third.
appearance on the show.
Third, fourth?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, third, I think, yeah.
Two-time returning champion.
Scotty B. Welcome to the show, Mr. Scott.
Hey, it's great to be here, man. I like what you've done with the place. This is
Thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah.
I like the new digs.
Thanks, man. Thank you. We're finally in a church.
Yeah.
Can you all those times?
I can feel the anointing.
Yeah, we finally made it. Did PD tell you that we almost stopped the show?
No.
We almost stopped a couple of months ago. PD and I were like, let's not do it. Let's just drop out. We're gonna bring you in for one more episode. We're like, we'll do one more episode with Mr. Scott, end it how we started, and just be gone.
I hosted and produced a Christian rock radio show for a long time. here in the upstate on a secular station, a classic rock station. You know how long it took me to get tired of it and to decide, you know what, I'm just done. I'm going to pull the plug. 15 years. At the end of 15 years, I decided, you know what? Well,
I feel
actually,
like this is an attack.
actually, what happened is I went on a cross-country road trip with my brother who had this new thing called an iPod.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, what is that? And he said, it's amazing. It's like every song I have like fits on that. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And it dawned on me on that trip. I was like, this is like having an entire radio station in your pocket, except no commercials. And it plays only the songs you like because you put them on there. And so really, why should I get up early on Sunday morning and go do a radio show and just hope that people are up listening? It's, and so that was in 2007 when I decided to pull the plug on that because I could see how things were
But you
changing.
You own an iPod Classic.
Oh, yes.
Still, right?
Yes, I do.
So you've come a long way from the iPod Classic essentially stealing your career to now being like, to joining the team.
The iPod Classic killed the radio star.
I think it's 160 gig.
Yeah.
And then I also have a new iPod Touch that's got about 34,000 songs on it.
Jeez.
So,
hey, I guess is the new finish line 15 years? We'll go 16. We'll beat you by 1, Mr. Scott.
Sounds good.
We'll go 16 years. We'll be like, and the last episode will be 3 seconds long, and we'll go, take that, Mr. Scott. Yeah.
Eventually, it'll be like DC Talk where we hate each other, but we do like one event every year. We'll do a Church Stories cruise.
We only show up together on stage. Everywhere else, we do a Church Stories cruise.
Is that why they don't?
I don't know.
Tour anymore.
I do not know. I did see. You know how Facebook reminds you of your memories. So a couple of days ago, it showed me a Facebook post that I had done a couple of years ago that said, well, Toby, Michael, and K-Max apparently have run out of money because they're getting back together.
Wow.
Oh, man. That's funny. Watching them, hearing about them, they made it big while in college. They were just making songs in college and just all of a sudden went on tour. I think they went to Liberty, which Liberty apparently does not claim them at all now. They don't I don't think they want to associate with them.
I have a story.
Yes.
The first time I saw DC Talk, they were opening for my favorite rock band of all time, DeGarmo and Key.
Okay.
At a college in Boiling Springs, North Carolina, Gardner Webb. And so DC Talk had just been signed to Forefront Records, which was Eddie DeGarmo, who was in DeGarmo and Key. It was his record label. So they had these guys. It was kind of a sweetheart inside deal.
Yeah.
They brought them along, and they would be techs, like guitar techs and keyboard techs. And Eddie DeGarmo said later, he said they were terrible. They were the worst roadies in the world. But they got up there. They came out, did their little opening thing, and we were there to see D&K. We were there for the rock and roll. We were like, who are these clowns?
Yeah, baggy shirts.
Yeah. One of them was on a keyboard. It was basically a keyboard with a drum machine is all it was.
Oh.
With one guy on the keyboard and the other two guys on either side of him talking about, we're a backwards Oreo
Jesus freak
or something.
Whatever. Oh, reverse Oreo. Is that like
they would say.
shtick?
Yeah, they were saying that, and we were like, "Get these kids off the stage. We are here to rock."
Wait a second. So this is after they were setting up guitars and stuff. They would go, "Okay, hold up a second. We're up," and then they would just hit
they would help get the concert set up, before people ever got there. Then they would do their opening thing. But I did notice that when they went to their merch table, they were covered up with teenage girls. And so I was like, yeah, these guys, I mean, I might not like them, but they're going places. And a few years later, Jesus Freak came out and it was all over.
Oh, man. Yeah. I remember watching, I can't remember what show. I don't know if it was Inspiration Network or TBN. But they had like an edgy Christian teens hour show, it's like, and you knew it was edgy because all the transition was like, static and stuff, and they would play Jesus Freak like all the time. That and like Reliant. What is another? I don't know. Audio Adrenaline. I feel like we're a bunch of big ones.
Yeah.
Big house.
Yeah.
Big yard where we can play football.
You're like
Really?
edgy. Yeah.
The thing that we
Song
wanted to
is
talk
iconic.
about today was the band that you were in.
Yeah.
Your first band.
Oh,
Well, before we talk about your band, Mr. Scott, how have you been? I feel like you've survived COVID-19.
So far.
Riots. So far.
It's still going.
Riots. What else?
Flash floods
Flooding.
in Greenville. Yeah.
World War III.
Yeah.
What else? Being this far into 2020 is a feat in and of itself. How have you been?
Yeah. It's been going pretty good. I've been editing, I produce videos for a living, and so I've been doing that in the spare bedroom and kind of editing in my pajamas and stuff. And it's kind of like being a full-time freelancer.
Yeah. Except, are you cashing 0 checks in between there? That's the only difference.
Well, yeah, so it's been a little different,
Yeah.
but PD likes to ride bikes. Does everybody know this about him?
Yeah, I think so.
He rides his
Possibly.
bike a lot. So I like that too. And I've recently discovered an inexpensive way to have fun on the weekend, and that is to just go on a road trip, put the
yeah.
bike on the back of the car, go find a nice trail or a river walk or path that I've researched in advance, and go there, shoot a little video, come back home, do a little review of the trail, put it on YouTube. And so, stay in a cheap hotel.
Yeah.
And just, eat at Crystal. And so I don't spend a lot of money, but I have fun.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I've done that like a few times. I think I'll go again over the Independence Day weekend. And I've tried to talk this guy into going with me some. He might go sometime.
I'll do
you
it.
don't want to bike? You don't want to bike out of town? You don't want to do that?
I'll do it.
You like biking?
Yeah.
Are you? Is it that time of the year where you bike shirtless, or have you changed your ways?
I don't know. Is it easier to spread COVID if your shirt is off? I need to look into this.
I don't know.
Do I need a?
I think if wearing a mask is one end of the spectrum, I think biking shirtless is the other.
Yeah.
Biking shirtless, no mask, with headphones is the other end where I just carefree. I love biking. I haven't biked on the Swamp Rabbit in a while, but I always get so hungry, and then I always know the best places to eat. So then I'll eat a ton of food. So then I'm like back at 0. So then I've biked for like 40 miles.
Yeah.
Gone to Tandem, ate a huge crepe with a bunch of syrup on it. Then I'm like, what did I just do? It's like I didn't bike at all, but I enjoyed it. It was a
You
good day.
negate the benefits. But, it's not just about dieting or losing weight or fitness. But I just like getting out and just having a chance to clear my head and think and pray and listen to music, and just at the risk of sounding like a hippie or something, just enjoy nature and feel the sun and let the wind blow through my hair and all of that stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Hey, but look, we did with this podcast. It was planned today because PD and I wanted to get deep into. I don't know how deep we're gonna be able to get. This is a documentary, but to the
In a limited series.
the Bachmann Brothers, only on Netflix. No, but we did want to talk about the Bachmann Brothers band.
Okay.
What did you want to? What did we want to know, PD? What did you want to talk about? Take a sip of your coffee.
Let's just go through the whole Bachmann Brothers experience.
Well-
How did it start?
Yeah.
Well, okay, the Bachmann Brothers band was me and my 2 brothers, Tim and Drew. And so our dad was a pastor, and there was always a lot of music around, and he was always bringing music groups into the church. And so we just kind of grew up just immersed in a lot of music and stuff, and my mom would play and sing at home. And so she just started noticing that we all had an ear for music, and then there was a lady in our church that kind of taught us to sing in 3-part harmony together as little kids, which is kind of unusual. And so it just kind of progressed. And then in the late 70s, my dad felt like, you know what, it's time to resign the church, and we're going to go on the road full time doing like specialized children's ministry, like year round. And so we did that for 7 years. And that's when the band, Tim on the drums and me on the keyboards and Drew on bass, became a featured part of our children's ministry. We would do a couple of songs every night, and then we started doing recordings here and there. We did our first recording was actually an LP, like a vinyl album.
There's somebody on YouTube put up a Bachmann Brothers band vinyl recording. Are you aware of this?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you know who did this?
No, I'm not. Is it this one?
There's one from Uncle Drew.
I brought some
He put up
props.
on
Oh,
there.
wow. Yeah.
Uncle-
Hold it up. You got a camera on you right there. Just hold it up. Yeah, the Bachmann Brothers.
This is
Hey, that's cool.
Little-
Who designed the artwork?
little EP.
How old were you there?
This was this was like around 84.
So how long did the Bachmann Brothers band last?
So it started really around 77, and then it ended about 88. So 11 years or so.
You had a run.
So we were constantly playing, when our family was traveling. But then when we settled here in Greenville, that's when the band kind of became an entity unto itself. And my brother Tim would call and get bookings with youth pastors and camps and conferences and retreats and all that stuff, lock-ins and pizza parties and modest pool parties.
What was the modest pool? Is it just jean skirts and just? What
Be
is
sure to
modest pool party like?
bring your friends this week to the modestest, hottest pool party featuring the Bachmann Brothers.
Oh man!
And so-
What was the morale of booking gigs? Were y'all
Man, see,
excited
dude,
to book one?
I didn't do that because I was like, I just was not a phone. Let's call a random person and just talk
Like,
to
hey,
a
listen,
stranger.
we are-
Yes, that's more of
Yeah.
an Uncle Tim thing.
Yeah, Uncle Tim was all about that, and he would get, and I wasn't involved in the money end of it either. I think back then we would get paid probably usually around $300 for a concert for a church youth group or something.
I mean, that's a chunk of change, though.
But it always went back into the truck, fixing the truck, gas, instrument repairs, blah, 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 the next recording or whatever. We need some new 8x10 glossy photos to sell at the merch table. So we never made any money. We didn't profit from it ourselves at all. And I think, in the mid 80s, like Tim got married and then I got married, and then we brought on a guitar player who was the first
Non-Bachmann.
Bachmann brother to be in the Bachmann Brothers.
So he was an honorary Bachmann brother.
Yeah, so he was with us a couple of years, but then it got to be like, hey guys, we're not making any money, and we're having to take time off our jobs and go do a gig at some church in North Carolina and get back at 4 a.m. and have to be at work the next morning.
Man.
And then the wives started complaining, and then
You're like, we're rock stars.
yeah. So then the next thing you know,
Let
is
me
like,
play this pizza party.
Yeah, so we
They
decided
made a poster.
in '88 we decided that had kind of run its course. But you know what? I mean, within 2 or 3 years, Drew and I were back in another band. It's like you just can't. And then another band, and then my friend Stephanie after that. So you just, once you get started down that road, you can't. It gets a hold of you, and you just can't shake it. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Were you gonna play some of the?
But yeah, there were some songs, some of which Uncle Drew would put up. Wow.
Oh
That is
man,
amazing. We'll have to post that.
Is this smoke or no? It's like it's just a wall.
Yeah, that was outside a bank building somewhere in Florida. We just saw the wall and thought it looked kind of cool.
Man, did y'all hire a photographer?
That was our sound and light guy did that.
Yeah.
He took the pictures.
So, do you want me to play Lay Down, You Ask Me Why, or Right on Time?
Lay Down is when Drew. Now, let me explain this. When Drew was very young, he had, how Michael Jackson and Donny Osmond had those real high-pitched voices when they were little kids, but they could totally carry a tune. They could sing. Drew was that way. And so, I remember Tim and I went and played we backed him up for him to sing in his school talent show in the 2nd grade. And he sang a song called Rock and Roll. And the words were, my feet are on the rock and my name is on the roll. And something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
And so
was that an original? Did he write that?
no, it was something we got it from some other group.
Yeah.
And
That's some fire lyrics though.
and so Drew is featured back during the very young high voice days on that song. What
You want to play that one?
What were the ones you said?
So Lay Down, You Ask Me Why, and Right on Time.
Yeah, Right on Time is Tim and me. Do a little bit of Lay Down. That's
Okay.
Drew with. And this was not rock by any chance. This is a cover of an Amy Grant song like from the 70s. But yeah, play a little bit of that
Okay.
because that's when Drew had his high voice going on. He was only like 7 or 8.
And y'all cut this record when y'all were that young? Dang.
All right, you get the idea.
Yeah.
What was the dynamic of working with your siblings? Like, was it... Because I've tried to do creative things. Like, my brother and I used to edit videos together. And we would butt heads so much just over... Like,
Yeah.
do you know, like, creativity relies on an amount of trust that, you know, PD and I have. We're called. It's like, hey, that's not good. And I'll be like, that's fine.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, hey, that's not good. And Peter like, hey, that's fine. But my siblings, we'd be at each other's throats.
No, we got along. I guess we had to, because for that 7-year gap when we were on the road full time, we would rehearse music every day, like at 1 o'clock every day in whatever church we were at. It
Really?
was like it was a regular thing. Every day we'd go in and practice music, learn new songs, and we couldn't really afford to not get along because we were living so close, together.
Yeah.
In travel units, like a motorhome type situation.
Yeah.
There was nowhere to go. You couldn't get away from these people, so it's like you had to get along. And I don't remember us. I mean, I'm sure we had, things that irritate you, whatever. But see if you can find a song called "I Believe in You," just to show kind of the progression of how things changed. That was in the...
You mean My Friend Stephanie, or is it?
No.
Okay.
I think somebody, not us, but somebody put some songs on YouTube.
Did y'all do y'all have these like licensed somewhere? Like, are y'all still pulling royalties from this
I
stuff?
don't see that. I see Reflections.
Reflectors.
Yeah, Reflectors. I mean,
Yeah,
side
You
A.
can claim this. Y'all
Yeah,
can go
do
online.
that.
Oh yeah, I Believe in You.
Y'all can go online and claim this. There's probably like a ton, like some money out there, some lunch money. It's probably not a lot of money.
At first, we did all cover songs, and then we got to where we were writing all of our own songs.
Yeah.
But,
Did anybody ever offer you guys a record? Oh,
There we go.
I thought that was lightning. I was like, what is that
Yeah.
sound outside?
Tim played Simmons electronic drums in the 80s.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
That was recorded here in Greenville.
Yeah.
This is funky.
It is.
I'm a fan.
Intro's way too long.
Don't care what the people say. Turn their backs and
This
they
was an
walk
original?
away.
Yeah.
It's very
I'll
80s.
trust you anyway. 'Cause I believe in you. They curse at me and they shake their fists. They say that you just don't exist. Just think of all the joy they've missed. But I
So how are y'all?
believe in you.
How much did you spend on like studio time?
I don't know.
Was that up to Papa?
Yeah, no, the early recordings, shout out to my dad, because he would spend whatever he could to help us make recordings, or he would borrow money from people and pay it back when the album sold, or he would
essentially a record label.
he would take us to music stores.
Fred
and,
Bachmann Records.
Yeah.
I wonder if he could sign me.
My mom used to always get nervous when he would say, honey, I'm going to take the boys to the music store.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he would always buy us instruments and stuff.
That's awesome.
So that was cool.
Did your parents
But-
play instruments?
Didn't he play some kind of
He had a-
washboard thing?
A what?
when he was a single evangelist, he had a gimmick. He turned a metal, like a metal wash tub upside down, and he would put a wooden post with a string tied, and when you would pluck that string, it sounded like an acoustic bass, like an upright bass. There was a guy on Hee Haw that played one.
Oh, I need to pause this so we can.
Yeah,
it sounds
going
good.
in
It sounds
on
like
there.
and
ambient.
And so
Ambient rock.
he would do that as a gimmick just to get people in,
Yeah.
But my mom played piano, but she, I don't want you guys to get flagged for me saying something sexist or whatever, but she played like a woman, I mean,
Yeah.
let me just, this is my theory. This is not these guys. It's just me.
Yeah.
How many really awesome female keyboard players and piano players can you name off the top of your head
Your
right
wife.
now? Go.
I'm gonna say my wife. I married one.
Okay, so what I'm
But
doing.
even her,
have
she's
to
like
be-
she's like a
there have to
classically
be
she's
plenty of
a
them.
classically trained pianist. Like I've asked her, I'm like, hey, what are the chords to this song that I'm listening to a song or whatever? She's like, I don't know. I only read sheet music.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right.
But what I'm getting at is most of the ladies that I've heard play, they stick to the music, and it's more choppy and it's more regimented, and it's more what I call church lady style.
Yeah, I've
That makes
played. I've had girls come and say that I hit the piano way too hard.
Yeah,
when I play
it
it.
sounds like something my wife
Yeah.
tells me.
So my mom played like the church lady style.
Yeah.
Like a lot of ladies that go to church and play the piano do. And so no, neither one of our parents were really overly musical.
Yeah.
But it was just enough. They brought a lot of groups into the church though, and so it was enough to keep our attention. But I brought now when we were on the road, we used to. Here's the deal: like if you get up in front of people, I don't care if it's ministry or whatever it is.
Josh is here. I was just telling him.
Okay.
If you get up in front of people, then you're gonna. Did I leave that? I think I left it.
Oh.
We'll have to edit this part.
Hey, yeah, I'll drop it in post.
I think I left it in the car, but I brought a letter. The only letter I ever saved, and I could just tell you what it said.
Fan mail? Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So when we were on the road, this is how. Think about this. This is how it worked. People would send us our mail to our post office box in Alabama, and then we had someone who volunteered as our secretary, and they would gather our mail, and then they would look. They'd put it in a bundle, and they would look on the calendar. Let's see, where are they going to be in about 10 days?
Wow.
Okay, they're going to be in First Assembly of God in Coldwater, Kansas. So they would forward the mail to that church, and then we would get it when we would get there. And that's how long it took.
That's crazy.
The mail. And
Wow.
I don't think we ever missed anything. But we would get letters from girls at various churches. And I have this one, I forget, her name is Heather or something. I forgot her last name, from Florida. And it says something like, "Dear Scott, I am tired of writing you letters and you never writing back. But I thought I would try one more time. I am going to get straight to the point. I love you."
Wow.
And then I feel bad now because I never even responded to that. But she
You
said,
shouldn't respond to that.
I know, but she said,
so funny.
she said, "If you don't mind, please write me back. And if you need to, you can use the backside of this letter."
This girl.
That's the only.
She was like, listen, you have paper right here. You have no more excuses.
All you need is a pin.
Do you have a pen, an envelope, a stamp, and time? Scott, please. You still go.
I saw you at a pizza party.
Please.
So I can only imagine now with social media and stuff, and like for musicians, they probably just get swamped with like all kinds of stuff.
And they get in a lot of trouble. Scott.
Yeah.
That's ultimately, that's what it leads to, a lot of trouble.
I should have written back and said, "Dear Heather, you're coming across a little thirsty. You might need to dial that back a little bit."
Oh, that is so funny. No, that's good. I got to record now just to back up. I think it's very funny that you brought this up. And it's been like, this is the third letter. And you're like, I still never responded back to her. I thought the story had some type of redemption. It's like, no, just decades of ghosting going on.
80s ghosting.
It just, to me, the punchline is, I'll get straight to the point. I love you.
Yeah.
Did she have like a picture of herself in it?
No.
So she just
She's basically
relied
just saying
on you remembering Heather from Podunk for whatever, Florida.
I had no idea either.
the translation is, let's get straight to the point. I'm crazy.
Yeah. And then there's another time that stands out in my mind. We were at a church in Kentucky, and this girl in the church she was a little forward, let's say.
Okay.
A little forward, you know. She kind of put herself out there a little bit, and so she was real friendly.
Yeah.
And she kept wanting to take me and my brother Tim to the mall. Like, hey, you guys are in town and you have nothing to do, and I just feel sorry for you guys. And I'd love to just, come by and if you got some time. So we finally were like, well, okay. This girl, she shows up not by herself. She pulls up, she's driving, and her friend is in the back seat.
So it was in like already for you. So
it was
already paired up. So
it
you
was
one
set-
Bachman up front.
It was set up to be a double date to the
It's
mall.
like the Rebecca Black song. Bachman's in the front seat. Bachman's in the back seat.
This girl she was like, I've been ghosted by too many Christian brother boy bands that come through town. This is the only way.
We looked at each other. We were just like, I can't believe this is happening. So, and then we go to the mall, and I promise you, they wanted us to get in one of those photo booths where it takes.
Really?
Back then, it was like it would take 4 pictures for $1.
Yeah.
Wanted us to pair off and get in the photo booth. Like
That's an established relationship type thing, right?
yeah, like
Yeah.
the photo booth that comes on date what, like date 7 or I don't know.
If
Yeah.
So in the double digits somewhere down there.
By the time we got back to the church, we were so mad.
Did y'all get in the photo booth though?
I was trying to remember because earlier I was thinking about sharing this story, and I do not actually remember if we went through with it or if we begged off of it somehow. We might have just said, it's okay.
No.
Let's go get a pretzel. I don't know.
Now, people just will slide into your DMs is what they call it, and that's happened to me a few times before I was married, and I'm like, no, thank you. I'd politely said, no, thank you.
Everybody always
people get
says
real
that.
bold.
I'm not. Is that an Instagram thing?
It's an Instagram. It's a Twitter,
Facebook,
like
Snapchat.
direct message. That's essentially what.
But
that
why?
is.
Why
LinkedIn.
is? And I'm showing my age
No,
here.
not LinkedIn.
Why is the phrase "slide into your DMs"? Everybody always says it that way. Why?
Yeah. I think
We don't know.
I think it was like started off maybe like a Vine or something, or like a meme essentially, like slide. But sliding is the weirdest verb, right?
Yeah.
Creeping into the DMs, that's another one. But sliding, like a baseball home plate type situation. Like hey, like.
Or shooting your shot.
Yeah, you
is
shoot
another
your shoot.
one.
Yeah, a lot of sports terms. You shoot your shot. That's when you met somebody. For example, if 2020, Bachmann brother Scott Bachmann was touring, and you're 17, and then afterwards, you leave. She doesn't say anything to you the whole show, and after the show, and after pizza. But then later, the next day, you're in the bus, and you just get a hey from Heather in Florida, and you're like, oh. you. That's what essentially what would happen to you now.
Yeah.
And you'd have to proceed
Wow.
with caution. I mean, grammar.
Yeah.
Different times.
What's cool now, though, speaking of all this social media stuff, is that all along we do get comments and messages from people that'll be like, were you in a band with your brothers? You know, that kind of thing. And then I'm like, I usually say, yep, and find out where they're from and where they saw us. There's a guy in Arizona that he was in our children's crusade in Silver Spring, Maryland.
Oh my gosh.
And we talked for a long time over Facebook Messenger about memories that he has of that. And then it was just 1 week in like 1979, you know.
That's crazy.
And he lives in Arizona now, and he was like, yeah, man, it was awesome. I remember this and that. And so it's been kind of cool to reconnect with people that way.
Yeah.
I think the best part, you know, we're always ragging on social media, even though we, you know, make, you know, we make content and somewhat of a living on social media. But social media really does give content this like just the mileage, just an extra life, you know.
Yeah.
For, you know, a song that you put on LPs and then whatever, then now down the road it's on YouTube from some person, and people are still, you know, music has the power to, you know, to remind people, and people find you later. I think that's such a probably the best part about it in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's something about music then and the way that it sticks with you.
Yeah.
I just, as an experiment the other day, put on Jesus Music by Lecrae. I remembered every word, and I haven't listened to that song in like years.
Shouts out to I'm just kidding. Lecrae, if you're listening, sign PD.
Yeah.
You need another white Christian rapper, right? Are they always?
Yeah.
They're in
I
low
could do
demand.
the Jesus Music white remix. Is that what they call it? If
Riding
a white
with
person
my
does it?
riding in my Toyota Camry, listening to that Jesus music. But no, that's good, man.
Back on the grind again. I know it's been a little while, but it's time again.
Guys, bombard PD if you'd like to hear a PD version of Jesus music in 2020.
So I have a cassette player, like a Sony cassette deck from Walmart that I got for Christmas one year. I asked for it just because I had this big plastic bin full of cassette tapes, mostly air check tapes from the radio days. And I've been listening to some of those, and I've been getting a big kick out of it. Like the station had a voice guy. You know, all of these stations, they'll have a professional voice person, and they would, back then they would fax them all the different things they wanted him to say.
Okay.
You know, like 100% classic rock and roll and John Boy and Billy in the morning, Rock 101 WROQ, that kind of stuff.
So good.
And so they would let me send him things for my show. My show was called Rock of Ages. You know, there was a song called Rock of Ages by Def Leppard plus an old hymn.
Yeah.
And so they thought, oh, that'll kind of tie in. So I actually had the station voice man for Rock 101 read this. Rock of Ages, Christian music that doesn't suck. I was like, I would have loved to have seen the look on his face when he got that fax and was like, they want me to say this? Yeah.
And did you use it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There's one from Larry Boy, too. You know, the person
really?
you put out of a job?
Yeah. Hey, no, he's still employed. He's tackling racism now and other hard topics like the census.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what VeggieTales is involved in. I played a small role. That's funny. That's funny.
Getting back the cassette deck, I put an unlabeled cassette in there, and it was a Bachmann Brothers band. It was like 7 or 8 songs from a live concert that we did where our sound man was recording back at the soundboard, and he cut out most of the talking, and I was listening to, and this was a song, and I wrote it. Okay, I'll admit, I wrote the song, and it was some of the lyrics were just awful, and the concept was good. The concept was that this is a non-Christian, it's coming from the point of view of a non-Christian person saying, all I really want to know is about Jesus, but you keep telling me about all this other stuff, and you keep talking so much about this and that and this and that and all this cultural stuff and everything. All I want to know is Jesus really real? Is he really who he said he was? That's the thought.
Yeah.
some of the lyrics were, you can't hear the questions that I'm asking because you're too busy talking about backward masking. All I want to know is Jesus really real.
What is backward masking?
That was the thing. When you would play record albums backwards, they used to claim that if you played record albums
It
backwards,
was like
there
a
were
different message.
Yeah, it's like, oh, here's AC/DC saying,
Yeah.
Satan,
Sweet
you are
Satan,
beautiful.
sweet-
Or is it- yeah.
and I worked for a Christian TV station at the time, and one of the lines said, "You're always asking for donations to build more television stations, but all I want to know is Jesus really real." I'm like, okay, I shouldn't have really done that.
At the time, though, you were like, this is hard-hitting songwriting.
Oh yeah, I thought, man, this is awesome. It was about as subtle as a sledgehammer. And the worst one was, you can't. No, what was it? Wait, it was. There was another line talking about you. You don't hear the questions that I'm asking. You're too busy talking about your prayer and fasting. And then there was another line that said, why?
So this is essentially, you wrote a bunch of presents to yourself.
The worst one, I got to remember it. Y'all talk
Okay,
while I remember it.
Is our next guest one where we're supposed to have a...
Yeah, he's here, so we
Okay.
should probably wrap up
Yeah,
soon.
yeah, dope. That's so funny.
I mean, why not just pull up the Bachmann
Hey,
Brothers band?
we gotta,
to play while we're closing the show
man.
out.
Anyway, I was like, it was a slam on people for smoking cigarettes in the churchyard.
But all you really want to know is about Jesus.
Why you smoke your cigarettes in your... Anyway, it was awful.
Hey,
but
do y'all have the masters for all these songs?
no.
Oh, really?
Nah, I don't think so.
Well, y'all need to, whatever quality version y'all find, y'all need to, I can help you guys out. Put it up on on all the streaming platforms.
Turn it
I
up
feel like
for us,
that'd be
and we'll
awesome.
do praise reports.
Yeah. You want to turn, you
Just gonna play some Bachmann Brothers band while we close.
Cool. PD, do you got a praise report?
My praise report is that I have added another drink to my coffee consumption. We were at 2 last time I talked about this. Now we're at 3 drinks.
What drink is it?
Caramel Frappuccino. I am expanding my coffee drinking.
Every time you expand, it gets more and more white girl.
Yeah, it does.
Coffee drinkers, once again, forgive my boy.
Hey, like I said, I'm just jumping into the wonderful world of coffee.
All right. My praise report is I got some work. For a person who works from home, you'd think I'd know, but no, I got some work, so I'm excited about that. And my praise report is also my wife, who asked me today if she could be the praise report.
She did.
So it's work plus my wife, because we can't live without money. So love you, Grace.
Wait,
and
so
I
you
love
told her
work.
you were doing the podcast, and she's like, "Can I be your praise report?"
Yeah, I know. And I was like,
Really?
I told her, I was like, nobody wants to hear that. That's my praise report. Praise reports. Scott.
My praise report is that I just started a YouTube channel about the bike trails. It's called Joyful Trails. Instead of Happy Trails, I had to Christianize it.
Yeah.
So it's called Joyful Trails, and I have 3 videos on my channel so far.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So people should look it up. And with any luck at all, it'll probably be demonetized soon because I'll say something that I'm not supposed to say. Like,
At least you know.
yeah, at least I know I have that problem. So.
Oh, man. Like, what did you say that's going to get you demonetized?
Oh, I don't know. Well, like on the part 1 and 2 of the Chattahoochee Riverwalk in Columbus, Georgia, I was careful. I said, no, if the reason you don't see anybody else on the trail is because I went and recorded this during, I said, let's just call it the bug scare of 2020, when everyone was huddled in their homes and afraid to come outside. But I never social distance from a good bike trail, so I'm out here, that kind of thing. So, but I've heard that if you talk too much about COVID-19 or whatever, that it gets you
you're spreading misinformation.
It gets you in trouble on YouTube. Yeah. So
Yeah. That's why we put out hour-long conversations.
Yeah, no YouTube
We're
assistant's
like,
gonna get to minute 43 of a Church Stories podcast.
So
80 episodes? Nuh-uh, sweetie.
we're not to date this, but word on the street is that tonight in Greenville there was a news conference that it's now mandatory to wear masks in all grocery stores, drugstores, and basically any place of business.
Really?
I gotta get the peddler grease
Yeah.
off of mine.
And so
Peddler grease.
I was telling him,
Grease.
I told him last night that whenever I see people wearing masks in a store, I want to just pull out a pellet gun and just fire a cap off in their backside.
And I said, become a police officer.
He said, you should join the police force.
It's all right. I'm black and I'm laughing, guys. It's all right. It's all right.
Well, I'm actually in a shocking turn of events. Okay, call me Mr. Irresponsible. I didn't wear a mask until they told me I had to at the peddler. So
Okay.
I put it on, and day one, it was a struggle, But day two, I was like, I'm enjoying the mask. Because
You don't have to smile. You don't have to like.
yeah, that's a big part. Is
Yeah.
there no courtesy smiles anymore?
Yeah.
And all I do, and if somebody makes me mad, I could just say something like, "You suck." I can mouth it, and right in front of them. And it's a very satisfying thing to do when you're like right in front of somebody.
Yeah.
And you're like, "You suck," but they can't hear it.
I'm like, did you say something? And you're like, no, no. But I was like, Hey, this has been a great episode, and we're even being played out. by
Extra
some
praise
Bachmann.
report: the mask.
And one.
Yeah, well, we got to wrap it up.
Yeah,
and
we
get
gotta
our
wrap it
next
up.
guest
Mr.
in
Scott,
here.
thanks for being here.
Hey, I'm going to go home and write a letter to Heather.
You should find it. You should find her. Oh, that's so funny. You should write a letter. Did you see the letter?
I think the return address is on the envelope, but this was in the late 70s probably, so I don't.
Yeah.
And if we could ever do it, I want to have the Bachmann Brothers reunion live podcast special.
Hey, we've got to do that. Yeah, we can host that for sure. Would Drew come out?
Would Tim come out and would they both, do you think, do
Well,
a Bachmann Brothers band reunion?
Tim would do it. We'd have to work on Uncle Drew.
Hey, listen. I mean, Church Stories podcast. We'll even give you guys $300 and some pizza.
All right.
Tell Drew. No, we do though. We really do. We'll host it at like a coffee shop or something. We'll just sit down and listen to you guys talk.
Hey,
I don't know. We'll maybe even provide some, a guitar,
I'm in.
a keyboard, and some drums.
I'm down. I play at a nursing home like once a month. Well, I used to.
Yeah.
Before the bug.
The bug of 2020.
But so I'll play anywhere.
Yeah. Hey, we'll make it happen though.
Yeah.
I'm open to all gigs.
Hey, but specifically $300 and some pizza. This is where.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I don't know.
Yeah.
We haven't paid any guests $300.
Are you gonna lock us in?
We'll make you guys sing through masks.
Yeah.
BB, Bachmann Brothers band. Triple B masks on the mounts. That's what
Awesome.
we'll do.
Thanks,
We'll
guys.
also sell those. Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Thanks for coming back on for the third time.
Back where it all started, except not in
Wait,
your basement.
no, this is the fourth time.
I can't even keep up anymore.
I remember there was an extra one that I forgot about.
But hey, listen, if this is your first time listening to Mr. Scotty B, go back. We'll list the ones that he's been on. Go
Yeah.
back and listen to them. Get to know. Yeah, you you're like, to understand season 3, Mr. Scott, you got to understand season 1 and 2. Mr. Scott.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. All right, we'll see y'all. Is this soon and very soon?
Yeah, it is.
Send me the link to this one.
Okay. Yeah. Sweet.
See that very soon. We are going to see the King. See that very soon. We are going to see the King. Hallelujah, hallelujah. We're going to see the King. See that very soon. We are going to see the King. Soon and very soon, we are going some of us who have laid down our lives, for we all shall live again on the other side. Soon and very soon, we are going to see the King. Soon and very soon, we are going to see the King. Soon and very soon, we are going to see the King. Hallelujah, hallelujah, we're going to see the King. Hallelujah, ooh, ooh, yeah. Hallelujah.